Well, they have to actually inquire themselves. They have to look at the problem. They have to figure out a way to understand the problem first and then find a solution for the problem. So I'm not going to tell them how typically this type of problem is done, and then they only take that model and then try to use it on a similar problem. That's what they learn to do in the lecture setting, you know. But now they actually have to figure out themselves how to do these type of problems.
They take away the ability to problem solve. More important than any piece of content they learn, the main objective of our course, which is based on IDL, is that students will be able to problem solve. And I define problem solving as, in the future, when they come up with a problem that they have never seen before, and they don't know how to solve, and they don't have the tools for it, students will be able to recycle the tools they already have, and if that's not enough, to figure out what it is that they need to learn, and to figure out how to learn it, and then go and do it, and then come back and solve the problem without somebody having to feed them that plan. And when I accomplish that, if I accomplish that in my IBL course, I think everything else follows, and I'm happy with that.
The biggest thing for the student is confidence. Just the confidence in themselves that they can approach a problem they don't already know how to do, and they can play around with it, and that they'll get there eventually. So I think a lot of students come into math missing this confidence piece. They think that they'll never be able to do it, and as soon as they get stuck, they just stop. So I think the biggest difference you see in students who've taken an IBL course is when they come out, they don't want to stop. They want to keep playing, and they in fact don't even want you to tell them the answer. They want to struggle with it for a little bit because they have this confidence in themselves that they're smart enough to get there.
An equality of effort. They have to put in as much effort as I'm putting in, and when they see that I'm really trying to understand them, when I'm really working hard to wrap my head around their own words, I think they need to know that that's what I'm trying to do, and more often than not, they will rise to that challenge. I'm really trying to help a student out. I'm really trying to refine their words, try to understand their thought process, and they need to recognize that and meet me there. I think most of the students do eventually get there. Sometimes it takes a while, but they get there.
So the key thing for the students, I think, would be an open mind. I think they have to be able to be willing to try something different if it's not something they've done before. They have to be willing to know that every class day, right, is going to look a little different, right? Some days there might be all kinds of presentations. Some days there may not be any, right? They have to be willing to be open to something different and open to the fact that I'm not standing up there, right? That they're leading it and they're in charge and they're sort of pushing the material and the content forward. So they have that open mind that things are going to be different.
In most of my students, they think that it's the destination that they're more concerned with, the correct answer, but I say no, it's not it. It's how you arrive at the correct answer. It doesn't matter which route you take, as long as you understood your way in arriving at the correct answer. That is the key.
I think they learn a lot about themselves, and that's one of the most important thing. They realize that they can do things. A lot of them, and I've actually been told explicitly by some of the students that, oh, you know, I was told I'm bad at math, and I thought I was. Maybe I still think I was. I don't know. And they give you this look like, you know, you could think I still suck at math, or, but they realize that actually, well, whatever you were told, I mean, hey, you were able to do this. I think that says something about you, right? And so they discover things. Some of them also discover their love or their enjoyment of the whole process related to math or the problem-solving part, right? So this is another skill they get, is, you know, they're not scared of a new problem. They're not scared of a new problem, and they'll tackle it, and they're developing the skills for it.
I believe that and encouraging them how to think then translates into other areas. So they might not go into graduate school in math, they're going to go in engineering, in law, something else, but it's helping them understand why they think what they think and coming up with the answers. For example, when they're on the board and they have a proof and they can't justify it. I'm a fanatic about justification, so I try to get people to write out all the justifications, and sometimes they say, I don't know the mathematical symbol, then write it out in words. Why is that? Why does that follow? And sometimes students get stuck and we say, this proof has been solved except for these 3 steps, and everybody goes back and tries to figure out those other steps, the justifications. But it's that kind of thing, to be reflective. I suppose it's like being self-aware. So why do I do what I do? In other words, not just be reactive and not just be emotional, but why do I think that I should be going to this conference this week? What do I hope to accomplish? What do I hope to gain? What do I hope to learn? And so that kind of self-reflection, I think, is another integral part of the experience called inquiry-based learning.